So I'm gonna have a little flexibility. I was gonna read the Treasure Tower chapter of the Lotus Sutra. My memory ran out, so it cut me off. So I deleted that one. But I read it through it one complete time, and it has a lot of stuff. So I'm just gonna put that on hold for right now, and give myself a little flexibility by reading. This is not the book, but this is what it looks like. This is volume 2. So you can get this through any library or some shit that's affiliated with the SGI, Soka Gakkai International, United States. Comes in various languages, so if you're looking for another language, like I said, this is volume 2. There's a volume 1. These are the writings of Nichiren. Nichiren is was a man that lived in the 1200s in Japan. Daishonin, Nichiren is actually a name that he gave himself, and Daishonin is actually a title that not only was bestowed upon him by his followers, but it was like officially voted in or some crap like that by Japanese government in the 1900s, and like after World War II. At some point after World War II, Nichiren was officially granted the title of Daishonin. Though there are some, because he is obviously he's a religious figure. There are some religious organizations that don't give him the Dai, because Dai means great, so they just call him Shonin. And you can look it all up. Nietzsche is a word. Ren is a word. Dai is a word. Shonin is a word. I don't know if Shon is a word and Nin is a word, but I know Shonin is a word. So this is volume 2. If you pick up volume 1, and one of the things too is, this is actually an example of one of the reasons I left the SGI, because this, according to their structural bylaws and organization, this right here is a violation of their code of conduct, so to speak, because of they strongly hold, like the Joseph Campbell Foundation that pulled the lost teachings of Joseph Campbell for copyright infringement off of YouTube. That's the way the SGI operates. Is they're very protective and they don't want something being distorted, which is fair. That's cool. But I mean, you know, whatever. I guess practical. I don't know. But obviously, so this, according to the standards of the SGI, opens me up to a fucking copyright infringement lawsuit or getting this video pulled. So if it gets pulled, just know that it was the Soka Gakkai International protecting the teachings of Nichiren from people like me who are not members of the SGI USA anymore. I still got a Gohanzen. To be honest, I think I lost it. But I guess that they would say everything. They're right, though. They're completely right. But that's cool. You know what? You can live in the world of Buddhahood. I'll dwell in the world of hell. That's fine. All right. So, so I'm going to be reading the very first Gosho that is in this collection, and that's called On Attaining Buddhahood in This Lifetime. So it's in volume 1, and it's Gosho number 1. I don't believe that they're in chronological order per se, but I know that they do have somewhat of a chronology as far as relevant to Nichiren's life, because all of these writings are actually, for the majority, I think these are like 90% or 95% are letters to, maybe even 98%, are letters to followers of Nichiren in various situations and explaining various doctrines. Other than that, there's a couple of treatises, but those are also technically letters. And there's some other formal stuff that he talks about. So anyways, this is On Attaining Buddhahood in This Lifetime. Cool. By the way, this shirt, I went to jail. Well, I didn't have this shirt at the time, but I went to jail for this shirt. And then the gays fought to get in the military. And I would never go to jail for you guys for that. Hell no. You guys suffer. You do whatever you want. Man, offer your son, your young gays, like, wow, that's going to reduce gay suicide. Woo, that was terrifying when that happened. I was so heartbroken. The gays, man. Okay, here we go. If you wish to free yourself from the sufferings of birth and death you have endured since time without beginning, and to attain without fail unsurpassed enlightenment in this lifetime, you must perceive the mystic truth that is originally inherent in all living beings. This truth is Myoho Renge Kyo. Chanting Myoho Renge Kyo will therefore enable you to grasp the mystic truth innate in all life. The Lotus Sutra is the king of sutras, true and correct in both word and principle. Its words are the ultimate reality, and this reality is the mystic law, Myoho. It is called the mystic law because it reveals the principle of the mutually inclusive relationship of a single moment of life and all phenomena. That is why this sutra is the wisdom of all Buddhas. Life at each moment encompasses the body and mind and the self and environment of all sentient beings in the 10 worlds, as well as all insentient beings in the 3,000 realms, including plants, sky, earth, and even the minutest particles of dust. Life at each moment permeates the entire realm of phenomena and is revealed in all phenomena. To be awakened to this principle is itself the mutually inclusive relationship of life at each moment and all phenomena. Nevertheless, even though you chant and believe Myoho Renge Kyo, if you think the law is outside yourself, you are embracing not the mystic law but an inferior teaching. Inferior teaching means those other than this Lotus Sutra, which are all expedient and provisional. No expedient or provisional teaching leads directly to enlightenment, and without the direct path to enlightenment, you cannot attain Buddhahood, even if you practice lifetime after lifetime for countless kalpas. Attaining Buddhahood in this lifetime is then impossible. Therefore, when you chant Myoho and recite Renge, you must summon up deep faith that Myoho Renge Kyo is your life itself. You must never think that any of the 80,000 sacred teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha's lifetime or any of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions and 3 existences are outside yourself. Your practice of the Buddhist teachings will not relieve you of the sufferings of birth and death in the least unless you perceive the true nature of your life. If you seek enlightenment outside yourself, then you're performing even 10,000 practices and 10,000 good deeds will be in vain. It is like the case of a poor man who spends night and day counting his neighbor's wealth but gains not even half a coin. That is why the Tiantai School's commentary states, unless one perceives the nature of one's life, one cannot eradicate one's grave offenses. This passage implies that unless one perceives the nature of one's life, one's practice will become an endless, painful austerity. Therefore, such students of Buddhism are condemned as non-Buddhists. Great Concentration and Insight states that although they study Buddhism, their views are no different from those of non-Buddhists. Whether you chant the Buddha's name, recite the sutra, or merely offer flowers and incense, all your virtuous acts will implant benefits and roots of goodness in your life. With this conviction, you should strive in faith. The Vilamakitra Sutra states that when one seeks the Buddha's emancipation of the minds of ordinary beings, one finds that ordinary beings are the entities of enlightenment, and that the sufferings of birth and death are nirvana. It also states that if the minds of living beings are impure, their land is also impure. But if their minds are pure, so is their land. There are not two lands, pure or impure in themselves. The difference lies solely in the good or evil of our minds. It is the same with a Buddha and an ordinary being. When deluded, one is called an ordinary being, but when enlightened, one is called a Buddha. This is similar to a tarnished mirror that will shine like a jewel when polished. A mind now clouded by the illusion of the innate darkness of life is like a tarnished mirror, but when polished, it is sure to become like a clear mirror reflecting the essential nature of phenomena and the true aspect of reality. Arouse deep faith and diligently polish your mirror daily, day and night. How should you polish it? Only by chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. What then does Myo signify? It is simply the mysterious nature of our life from moment to moment, which the mind cannot comprehend or words express. When we look into our own mind at any moment, we perceive neither color nor form to verify that it exists. Yet we still cannot say it does not exist, for many differing thoughts continually occur. The mind cannot be considered either to exist or not to exist. Life is indeed an elusive reality that transcends both the words and concepts of existence and non-existence. It is neither existence nor non-existence, yet exhibits the qualities of both. It is the mystic entity of the middle way that is the ultimate reality. Myo is a name given to the mystic nature of life, and Ho to its manifestation. Renge, which means lotus flower, is used to symbolize the power of this law. If we understand that our life at this moment is Myo, then we will also understand that our life at other moments is the mystic law. This realization is the mystic Kyo, or Sutra. The Lotus Sutra is the king of sutras, the direct path to enlightenment, for it explains that the entity of our life, which manifests either good or evil at each moment, is in fact the entity of the mystic law. If you chant Myoho Renge Kyo with deep faith in this principle, you are certain to attain Buddhahood in this lifetime. That is why the sutra states, after I have passed into extinction, one should accept and uphold this sutra. Such a person assuredly, without doubt, will attain the Buddha way. Never doubt in the slightest. Respectfully, maintain your faith and attain Buddhahood in this lifetime. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nichiren. Oh, I love that sutra. That is awesome. If I could add anything to it, I don't know if add is correct, but if anybody watches this, everything in life is clues. If you aren't looking. It's not about being capable of identifying them, because the clues are fake. They're just words. They're not real. They're sounds that you have to make by hitting something, whether it be your vocal cords vibrating or whatever, you know? So, if you can't find clues throughout your daily whatever, I don't know, man, routine, I don't, what, practice, who knows, maybe life in general is a practice. You're, you, you're never gonna know who you've been the whole time. You're only gonna think or wonder if what you're doing is right or wrong. So I right now I stole this. This is stealing. Okay? It's not right. Get it? This is not right. This is in Buddhism. I would be. They say the body of Buddhism, just like in Christians, you have backsliders. Backsliding is actually a term that they use in Buddhism that predates Christianity. Woo! So Christianity for sure. Even if you want to argue that the Bible supposedly, of course, the Jews, they're going to say that their book was written 8,000 years ago. It's like I met this. There's a Jewish girl that came up here visiting one of my roommates, and I was talking with her, and she's showing pictures of. She just came back from the Holy Land, and I was like, oh, I was just reading about. I had just read or listened to a speech from Martin Luther King where he talked about repairing the Jericho Road, and she's like, oh yeah, the Jericho Road. Well, did you know that Jericho was the first total civilization that was built completely off of witchcraft? Yeah, and they went into this whole thing, and I was tripping out. I was like, man, look, 3,000 years later, 2,500 years later, the language of genocide is still being passed down. The justification for the massacre of the people of the land of Canaan is as fresh today as it was then. And it was funny because she went on to, and she could tell my stance. I didn't say anything too aggressive, but you don't have to. It's all in the eyes. It's the sentiment. You get it? Even asking questions, the way you ask questions. Oh, did you see the weeping wall? And just little stuff like that. There's a defense mechanism, a fear of going someplace where they've never gone, where they've been taught to never go. Sacred, behind the veil, the holy temple, inside, for the Levites, for the priests, not for you. Shut up, stay out. It's your job to do everything you can to stay out. And she flipped the conversation into asking. Granted, this is also. I don't know how to identify her, but anyway, she asked if I had some medical marijuana that I could spare. I'm just gonna have to. We'll just leave that open ended. And she's like, yeah, you know what? Maybe like a dime. Can I get like a dime? Maybe, and then I guess a dime's worth, and I'll bring you the money back. And the way she was saying it was like a little girl asking her daddy for a toy that she wants, but he's not gonna get him, like a brat doll. And any father that buys his daughter a brat doll. So anyways, when she was saying that, it was so sad to see that she was doing everything in her ability to lie just so she can feel like she defeated me by stealing something. It was pretty sad, but I gave it to her. And I gave it to her because I believe in karma. And I believe that it's not that her bad karma is to come, but I believe it was my karma to have the chance, despite the circumstances, the view, and the complexity of the situation, and the immorality of the situation on so many levels, to give it to her. But that was my karma, and I did that, and I will do it again, over and over and over and over and over.